Michael Fabiano has a wish list, and I may not be a genie, but let's see if they can come true this offseason. Here with me now, SI fantasy football analyst Michael Fabiano. And Fabs, you got your wish list all set for what you'd like to see happen. Not all of them, I should say, not any of them are really unrealistic. I think they all fall within the realm of possibility. Let's start off with two quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so if I rub your head, or would it be your belly? And that would get me these wishes to come true. I'm not sure. We're not going to go down that road, but I really like to see if the Texans have to trade Deshaun Watson, if he is just absolutely dug in and doesn't want to be back there in Houston, I'd love to see him go to the San Francisco 49ers. I don't think that would ultimately elevate his value because he's already a top 5 quarterback. But think about what Watson in San Francisco would do for George Kittle, and more to the point, Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. That Niners offense would be an absolute fantasy juggernaut once again if Watson decides that he just won't go back to Houston. And then Jameis Winston, I'd wish that he would sign with the football team. I know that New Orleans has talked about bringing him back. He is a free agent. There's been reports that he is the favorite to be the starter in New Orleans, but I like Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill was very good as the starter this past season. If Jameis goes to Washington, he's got Terry McLaurin, he's got Logan Thomas, Antonio Gibson, and Washington's flush with money. They've got some dough to spend with the salary cap situation, so they could bring in even more talent, maybe a Curtis Samuel. So I'd like to see Winston in Washington, where he could potentially be a top 12 to 15 fantasy quarterback.
All right, Winston to Washington, Watson to San Fran.
Got a little confusing there, yes.
I'm on board with both of those. Let's talk about some rookies. You like to see 2 rookie running backs go to teams that need running backs.
Right. There are 2 NFL teams right now that have glaring needs in the backfield, and one of them is the Buffalo Bills. Now, they have selected a running back in each of the last 2 drafts in the 3rd round, Devin Singletary, Zach Moss. Moss only played 1 season. I just don't feel like either one of these 2 guys is a playmaker, and it's not close when you compare them to Najee Harris. This kid out of Alabama is a 3-down back. He's got a boatload of upside. And thinking about the numbers that he could put up in that offense with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and Cole Beasley, I'll tell you, that is very exciting to me. So I would wish that the Bills can get Harris in the 1st round. And then let's stay in the AFC East. Another team that desperately needs a running back is the Jets. And I'd love to see them get Travis Etienne. That would be a tremendous fit. The Jets could actually become very fantasy relevant if they draft Justin Fields with their first round pick. You get Etienne with their second round pick. This guy's a home run hitter. He's versatile. He's a big back. Forget about having any kind of committee. The Jets would basically have a featured runner in Etienne, and ultimately that could make him a number 2 fantasy running back in 2021 redraft. So Harris to Buffalo, Etienne to the Jets. Those would be 2 of my draft wishes, Bill.
All right, let's get to your last wish. This one, we're heading up to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, where you have your eyes set on A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, I would really like to see A.J. Dillon be the featured back for the Green Bay Packers this upcoming season. Aaron Jones is a free agent. Jamal Williams is a free agent. We didn't see a lot from Dillon, but you remember that Week 16 games against the Titans where he had that monster fantasy performance? Man, I remember that, and I've got to think, if I can get 14 to 16 games of this kid seeing 18-plus touches per, we're looking at a potential RB2. Matt LaFleur is the man who drafted him. Remember that. And he's not as big as Derrick Henry, but he fits that sort of Derrick Henry mold. And remember, LaFleur was the guy, the OC there in Tennessee when Henry was racking up all those yards. So if Aaron Jones leaves, A.J. Dillon would be high on my wish list of featured backs to have in 2021.
As we always say, the fantasy football season never ends here at Sports Illustrated. You can get more of Michael Fabiano's fantasy wish list. Just head on over to si.com/fantasy.